The NEON project stands for Nurture Early for Optimal Nutrition. It's a project that focuses on children aged 6 months to 2 years. The aim of the project is to start early in a child's life to prevent long-term problems later. If we improve feeding practices when the child is young, we can prevent obesity, heart disease and diabetes and other deficiencies such as vitamin D or iron deficiency as the child grows into adulthood. The project we're doing at the moment is working together with the Bangladeshi community in Tower Hamlets. However, this model or this approach that we're designing, we would want to be able to adapt it to other communities because all children want to grow up to be healthy.
Health and nutrition is definitely very important for me and Zachariah. Only when I understood it better. When he was first born, I didn't understand any of it.
It's extremely important because nutrition and well-being of your child is at the foremost for any mother.
So really we met with the community from Tower Hamlets and we met with some of the doctors and some of the health visitors and the people who commission the services. And it was clear that there were lots of interventions going on for the older children, children who are 5 years and up, but there's very little happening for children between the early years, 6 months to 2 years.
The advice needs to be tailored to the needs of the community and the culture, bearing that in mind. I would say that the Bangladeshi people in Tower Hamlets are addicted to rice because they see rice as something that has to be in the diet to grow healthy, to actually fill you up, to actually give you the energy and so forth. And somebody said they actually give fried rice for breakfast to their children, to their child because they don't see anything wrong with it.
When a mother told me that she'd given her child mango juice in a bottle to feed her throughout the night because the child's constipated, so it's like a vicious circle. She was only trying to help a child, so it's like she didn't do it to harm the child but for the child's benefit, but at the end it cost the child 6 teeth.
We're taught to sit in one place and eat because also there's the Islamic aspect, you know, you shouldn't be running around, you should sit down and eat in one place. I distract my son with everything that I can think of just to have his vegetables, so I'll slide the carrot in and he'll say, "Mummy, you just put something in my mouth," but playing with them while they're eating it's always there.
Part of the reason that we're doing this project actually is to reach members of the population that might not ordinarily be exposed to any programs. And one thing that really helped our project, I think, was the community support. So we worked with some wonderful facilitators and they themselves are adult representatives of the Bangladeshi population from Tower Hamlets, and they helped us with every stage of the research.
We find at the later age stage in Bangladeshi community more diabetes, more heart disease, more obesity is happening. So the study aimed to identify the main reasons for what the feeding style or food habit lead to the disease.
We spoke to mothers, pregnant women, fathers, members of the community in general. We spoke to health professionals a lot, and they all shared this idea of filling the belly. And filling the belly came to mean there was a lot of anxiety around making sure that the baby ate some food. And I think that links to another concept we spoke a lot about, which is the idea that a healthy baby is a chubby baby.
I think it's family and everybody has advice to give, my mom, my dad.
If you break the norms, cultural norms, and if you break the norms, this child is, you know, you're a bad parent, you're not listening to our advice, and that's why your child's ill.
I think it's really important that we recognise the role that mothers play and fathers play, the mothers-in-law that live with the new mother. Everyone has experience and their influence can really be positive as well, and I think that the advice that families share can be very supportive in advising what kind of food to give the new baby and when to introduce these foods. You'll find that there's actually a lot of knowledge within the family or within the wider community, and we're not reinventing the wheel. What we want to do is make sure that the information and the knowledge is shared between family members and health professionals and anyone really with a role in complementary feeding.
The community have responded really well to the NEON study. They seem all very interesting. At first they couldn't quite understand, you know, if there was a right and wrong, why do they want to know all this? But when I explained, they were like, oh, okay, wow, does our opinion really matter? And if there's no right and wrong, you know, I like to express my views quite openly.
We tried to look at models that we could look at in these resource poor countries and think, how could we use that within the UK, in our setting, in a town or a city here like Tower Hamlets. We've looked at Nepal, we've looked at India, we've looked at Bangladesh, we've taken some of the learning from some of similar interventions, which have been shown to be very successful in those settings, and now we're adapting that and testing that out in Tower Hamlets with the Bangladeshi community.
When I spoke to the people of the community, they're very much interested about the neonate study because they think this is their study, because it's for their children, how they feed their children.
Every single child should be engaging in school activities, should be able to run around, feel that they want to run around, have their enjoy eating food, but be healthy with what they eat. And we want to help them do that. If we leave it too late, then they are already in a position where they don't want to do physical activity, where they don't feel like running around. And so if we start very, very early with these children and give them a good start in life, then hopefully they can have an enjoyable youth and grow up into healthy adults.
I think the NEON study is very important. Definitely come from my sense of my community, because we are always told what to do, what to feed our children, and sometimes it's not the right answers.
After 4 or 5 years, maybe they totally change of Tower Hamlets Bangladeshi community. You can find them, you can say it's a healthy community in London, the Tower Hamlet.